It's that time of the year where there are new makeup releases coming out every single week. And I mean, almost every single day. I just filmed a video like this last week, but there have been a ton of products announced since then and a lot of really exciting launches. I'm not someone who buys every single makeup product, but I still think it's fun to talk about the products to see what you guys are kind of into, what you're loving, what you're not, and just kind of see what brands are launching. I love chatting about new makeup and I still love makeup. Even though I'm not necessarily buying as much as I used to, I still think it's fun to see what's out there. So there are a ton of products I wanted to talk about. I was going to upload a different video today, but Natasha Denona just announced a new palette. So I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts on this, as well as a lot of other releases, a ton of concealers, a new Urban Decay palette, some Merit eyeshadows. Okay, let's kick it off with the new Natasha Denona palette. This is what I really wanted to talk about. I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on this because this was just announced like 30 minutes ago at the time that I'm filming this. So I haven't really seen any comments on it to hear what people are thinking. It is called the new I Need a Nude eyeshadow palette. It launches tomorrow on the Sephora app for Rouge members, and then it will be available to everyone on August 19th. So we don't have to wait very long for this one. It's going to be $69, so it is one of her midi-sized palettes. And she describes it as a new essential everyday rosy cool toned palette. So I am wearing the Natasha Denona Glam palette on my eyes today, which is more of like a fully cool tone neutral palette. It doesn't really have rosy shades in it. It might have like one or two, but for the most part, it doesn't lean rosy at all. And wait, am I wearing that? Yeah, I am wearing some shadows from that, and then I'm wearing one shadow from the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette. I actually think this new I Need a Nude palette will pair so well with the Glam palette, the Retro Glam palette, and then also the Retro Midi palette. There are some pretty like everyday shades in here, but I feel like this is going to be so fun for the holiday season. So I definitely plan on picking this one up. I made a goal to only purchase 3 high-end palettes this year. The first palette purchase I bought was the Natasha Denona Yucca palette, and then this will be number 2, and then I'll probably hold out to see if Patrick Ta ends up releasing something. But I think I'm more excited about this one than Yucca. Yucca is really gorgeous. It has like those greens, those warm tones, but I feel like I'll get more use out of this one. And I love the fact that it does have so many shimmers in it. So in her Instagram post, she says, besides her signature pressed powder mattes and metallics, she brought back the beloved sparkling foiled formula, which I do think there are a few of those in the Yucca palette. And those look amazing on the eyes. When I first tried them, I thought there was going to be a ton of fallout, but that's not the case. They look so intense, so sparkly and gorgeous, but they stay in place really, really well. And then she says there's a new, brand new wet effect formula in sparkling and glossy finishes. So I'm all about Natasha Denona shimmers. I feel like her mattes are good, but honestly, her shimmers are what typically make the palette for me. So the fact that this does have those formulas and then some of her original formulas, I can't wait to grab it. I'm definitely picking this up. I'll do a video using it and trying it out, but I would love to know what you think. Are you bored by this palette? Are you into it? I'm personally so excited for those shimmer shadows. I think they're going to be amazing on the eyes. There's another palette I wanted to talk about. There's not a ton of information about this one yet, but Urban Decay is dropping another naked palette. It kind of looks like a holiday palette, so I think we'll end up seeing it during the fall at some point. It's called the Naked Metal Mania palette. So it does look like there are some neutral mattes like in the front of the palette and the end, and then a couple of neutral shimmers and maybe 1 or 2 pops of color. Honestly, when I first saw this, it kind of reminded me of the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette, which, do you guys remember that one? I loved that one so much. I'm kind of getting a similar vibe from this one. It's just missing like that green that the Chocolate Bar Gold had. I feel like I stick up for Urban Decay a lot because on the internet, in the beauty space, on YouTube, a lot of people just aren't into Urban Decay. They're kind of completely over the naked palette theme, which I totally get. But I think the naked palettes do appeal to people who don't want to put a ton of thought into their eyeshadow. The naked shadows, like the formula in there, I wouldn't say it's like the best or the worst. It's just like an easy everyday formula that blends out quickly. And typically whatever shades you reach for in the palette do tend to pair well together. When I talk to people I know in person, a lot of them are still using Urban Decay naked palettes, and they either just like completely use it up and repurchase it or try a new color story. I think this could have been like a good color story with like a different theme, but I don't know that Urban Decay palettes sell that well if they're not naked palettes. A lot of them tend to be available for like a significantly discounted price just a few months after they launch. So if they're going to go through the process of launching a palette, I kind of understand why they launch it under the naked name, just so maybe it has a better chance. Because honestly, if they had packaged this in something completely different, it probably would sell worse than it's going to sell as a naked palette. I don't plan on picking this one up. I'm not really into this color story as a whole. I feel like it's it's been done. Like I said, the Chocolate Bar Gold palette back in like 2016, 2017. And, I'm just not wearing shades like this very often. If I was going to purchase a naked palette, it would just be like a true neutral palette from Urban Decay rather than something like this. Another eyeshadow related launch, but these are actually single shadows and not palettes. I actually saw like the official product on Sephora's website last night as I was scrolling through new launches, but it doesn't look like they've released like the full photos on their Instagram yet. So Merit has been launching or has been teasing a new launch. According to Sephora's website, these are launching on August 22nd. They are solo shadow cream to powder soft matte eyeshadows for $24 each. I mean, okay, I get that there is a market for single shadows and there are some formulas out there that are good. I have the Urban Decay, why do I always forget which one I have? Do I have Space Cowboy? I have one of the Moon Dust shadows. It's nice. It's really, really beautiful. I'm sure those are actually right around the same price point. But I don't know, before even seeing swatches or reading reviews, I have a feeling these are not going to be worth that $24 price point. I could be wrong, but I'm going with my gut on this one. It's a buildable talc-free cream to powder eyeshadow that's easy to use, and it gives a soft matte wash of color for all day wear. So they claim zero creasing or fallout. That just sounds underwhelming to me. I honestly feel like these are just going to be patchy, and I don't know why. I think it's the fact that they're matte creams, and they're saying they give a soft wash of color, but they're buildable. Like that just screams patchy to me. Like they're going to be so sheer and streaky and patchy and just not worth the price point in my mind. I feel like I'm being a hater, but that's just what I think of. So let's look at some photos because like I said, I just saw the listing on Sephora's website. I don't know, like they look kind of streaky, right? I can't tell if they like Photoshop this. It looks like the models aren't moving between the shades. So it's kind of hard to tell what these are going to look like on the eyes, but based on these photos, they're not looking great. They don't look like the worst eyeshadow photos I've ever seen, but they're really not appealing. Like a $24 single shadow, it has to be good for that price point. But I don't know, this formula just doesn't really sound unique or exceptional. It sounds like it's not going to be great. Okay, so many concealer launches. So last week we talked about the new Tula concealer, but today I wanted to talk about a few more. So Makeup by Mario just launched new concealer, which I'm definitely curious to see how popular this is going to be after the launch of the Surreal Skin Foundation earlier this year. That was so interesting to watch. I just talked about this in a recent video. I did a video on like viral makeup products and whether or not they are worth the price and the hype. And I do own that foundation and I like it, but I think it was significantly overhyped. And once people started purchasing it and trying it out, I feel like the reviews kind of switched and there were a lot of negative reviews as well. Makeup by Mario is a brand where they can launch anything and it's very highly anticipated. They're kind of one of the it brands right now. So I do think this will be a fairly popular product. But again, I don't know. I wonder if like the Surreal Skin Foundation almost tainted this one a little bit because a lot of people hate that foundation. A lot of people love it too, but it does have the same name. This is called the Surreal Skin Awakening Concealer. It's going to retail for $29 and it's available now at Sephora. It comes in 22 shades. Definitely not the best shade range I've seen for a concealer. I'm kind of surprised because I think their foundation shade range was more inclusive than this. But maybe they're marketing it as like a sheer to light coverage concealer. Let's see. So they describe this as a pro performance multi-use concealer. Based on the photos, it looks like they're kind of marketing it as like a concealer you can use under your eyes or even all over your complexion in place of foundation or in addition to foundation. It's supposed to lift, blur, brighten, and give you like an awakened appearance. Oh, it's medium coverage with a natural finish. I don't know if this is going to be the same formula as the foundation. Like based on the description, I don't think it's going to be quite as glowy as the foundation, which is probably a little bit more ideal for a concealer. It sounds nice, but I don't know. I'm not like super drawn to this one. I won't say I'll never try it, but I don't have plans to like rush out and buy it. Probably because there is another one that caught my eye that does look interesting. I will say, like, after trying, I've said this before, but after trying the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, I just haven't really been as excited about concealer launches as a whole because that one is so good. Like, it really is the best concealer formula I've tried. And I don't know, are there any other concealers that are going to be quite as good as that one? If there is one that's going to meet it, it might be this one from Haus Labs. This is the Triclone Skin Tech Hydrating Concealer. It's launching on September 7th, both in stores and online at Sephora. This one's $32. It comes in 31 shades. So the shade range, yeah, looking at the shade range, is definitely better than Makeup by Mario's. Haus Labs is also a brand that does tend to get a lot of hype for new releases, but it's so interesting because Haus Labs, like when they first launched the brand, it was kind of underwhelming. It fell so flat. And I feel like they did have like such a successful rebranding. So this one is also described as a medium coverage natural concealer. So basically the same, but this one is supposed to be lightweight and long wearing. It's also supposed to blur, depuff, brighten, and then conceal, of course. Like based on what I'm reading, they're kind of leaning heavily into the fact that this one has over 20 skincare ingredients, which if I remember right, Natasha Denona was kind of marketing high glam in the same way. And I think when I talked about that one, I said like there's no way this one lives up to all of the claims, but it really has exceeded those claims for me. They also say this one is made with biotech caffeine. So it was tested and found to depuff the eyes after 2 weeks of wear, which is a really interesting claim for a concealer. I feel like that sounds good to me if it was true because I just have very puffy eyes. I feel like I don't get enough sleep. It's something I'm working on, like actually going to bed earlier, but I also deal with allergies and redness, and I feel like my eyes are always a little bit puffy. So if my concealer could help to depuff my eyes, that would be amazing, but I probably wouldn't rely on my concealer to do that. But anyway, I really do like the Haus Labs foundation, so that alone makes me want to try this one more than Makeup by Mario. I think I will try it out. I don't know. I don't know if it will top the Natasha Denona concealer for me, but maybe I'll like it for different reasons. Tower 28 also launched a concealer. This one is the Swipe All Over Hydrating Concealer. It's coming soon to Sephora's website. Oh, coming 8/18 to Rouge clients and then 8/19 to everyone else. So within just a day or two. So this one comes in 20 shades. I would say the shade range is maybe somewhat similar to Makeup by Mario. There seems to be a little bit more of an even distribution between like light, medium, and deep, but there are still some big gaps between the three. Just based on the swatches, this one looks more glowy. So this is a hydrating concealer that glides on like a serum and has medium buildable coverage to instantly cover dark circles, redness, and blemishes. I feel like this one maybe would be a little bit more ideal for dry skin. It does look very hydrating just based on the photos, based on the swatches. When I think of Tower 28, I think of their Sunny Days tinted sunscreen, which I do like, but it is such a glowy product. And obviously these are a little bit different. But if there was a concealer that kind of was somewhat similar to that, it might be a little bit too glowy for me. I think it would end up creasing. Again, might be really ideal for very dry skin. We'll see about this one. I think they are actually possibly sending it to me in the mail as PR. I do get some PR from Tower 28, not everything, but if I do get it, I'll try it out. Or if you want to see a review on any of these, let me know. Obviously, that's what I'm here for. I try to be kind of selective about purchases and not necessarily buy every single new launch, but it's my job to review makeup and test it out. And obviously, I would love to be able to do that. If there are any products you want me to review on my channel, just let me know. So Fenty just launched a new complexion product, which sounds interesting. I just repurchased their Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. I just filmed an Ulta haul that was supposed to go up today. That will go up next just because I want to get this video out first. But I always get the question, like, when you declutter, do you ever regret decluttering products? And usually no. And I can't say I regret decluttering this. I had it a while ago. I ended up decluttering it because I wasn't really into lighter coverage products, but something just like changed this summer. And honestly, I do reach for lighter coverage products probably like half the week, maybe even the majority of the week, just because they do tend to be so quick and easy. And I don't always want to take the time to apply like a fuller coverage foundation and have to worry about it throughout the day. So I did repurchase that product from Fenty. I'm definitely curious to try it out again and see what it's like, but I'll share more about that in my Ulta haul. But anyway, I kind of wonder if I saw this first, maybe I would have grabbed this instead. If you've picked this up, please let me know what you think of it and how you would compare it to like the original Eavesdrops. So this is the Eavesdrop Blur and Smooth Tint Stick. It's available now for $35. It does come in 25 shades. So it's a light coverage, long wearing formula that melts effortlessly for a second skin natural finish. It's creamy, it has a smooth texture, it instantly blurs, resists fading and transferring. This sounds really nice. It kind of sounds like the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm, except this one might be a little bit more hydrating and not quite as mattifying. I don't know about this format. Like I like the idea of a liquid, especially when I'm in a hurry and I want lighter coverage because you can just blend it in so fast. I usually just take like a product like that and like rub it between my hands and like smooth it all over my skin and use like the warmth of my hands to kind of melt it into the skin. So I don't know if this would swipe on quite as easily. I feel like this is something I have to check out in person just to see what the actual texture is like because it sounds a lot different than anything else I personally have. I need to watch some reviews on it or actually try it out in person before buying it, but I should probably try out the one that I just repurchased first. Okay, so this is a super interesting launch. Function of Beauty has a new line at Sephora. I'm personally a big Function of Beauty fan. I feel like some people hate them, some people love them. I know some people have had bad experiences with Function of Beauty. I've been using their products since, I don't know, 2020, like the very beginning of 2020, maybe right before that. And they've been really great for me. I still repurchase my shampoo and conditioner every few months. So I know they have a line at Target, but now they have a new line at Sephora called Function of Beauty Pro. I never saw this coming. Like I never would have thought they would have a line at Sephora, but there are 4 shampoos and 4 conditioner masks, and they're infused with brand new bond building technology catering to one of 4 hair types: straight, wavy, curly, or coily. So, in addition to that, which this fits in with Function of Beauty, they have 9 boosters that you can actually add. And these are hair goal concentrates, and they can kind of target specific concerns, whether you're into like something that helps with frizziness, color maintenance, shine, hydration. Okay, the thing about Function of Beauty is a lot of people thought their products were already very expensive. My last order, which had a 16-ounce shampoo and a 16-ounce conditioner, was $49.99, but I had a $10 credit. So I paid $40, but regularly it's like $50. So $50 for the 2 of them. And again, a lot of people think that is expensive, which that is expensive compared to some other shampoos and conditioners, but it is a custom formula based on your hair goals, your needs, and I find that the products work really well for me. So if you were to buy a shampoo and conditioner from Sephora and then just say like 2 concentrates for each, which they're $4 each, because that's the whole point of Function of Beauty. Like it's customizable. That would be pretty pricey. Let me just see. That would be $68. Like if you just bought the shampoo and conditioner without the boosters, that would be 52. But I feel like that kind of negates the point of Function of Beauty because then you're not really targeting anything specific. I don't know that this brand is going to do super well at Sephora. I feel like if you are a Function of Beauty fan, you probably will just stick with ordering from the website. If you want to try it, you could just go to Target and get the less expensive version. I think this version is, I mean, it's their pro version, so it might have different ingredients. They do say that it has like bond building technology. I like Function of Beauty. I just don't know that I would buy these products at Sephora since they do have less expensive alternatives. Milk Makeup actually has a new lip gloss formula. Have they ever done lip glosses? They used to have lipsticks that I loved back in the day. They were kind of in more like crayon type packaging and they rolled up. And there was a shade that I wore a ton, but I don't know if they've ever done lip gloss. This actually sounds more like a lip gloss lip oil hybrid. It's a clean, high shine, non-sticky gloss. It hydrates like an oil, and then there's the shine of a gloss. They describe it as a cushiony formula. That is the word that gets me when it comes to lip gloss. Like a good cushiony plush formula is the best. I think specifically of Kaja, or what other brand does a cushiony formula? I think I would describe the Lawless glosses as cushiony too, but like Kaja is the first brand that comes to mind. It sounds nice, but $26 sounds expensive for what it is. Okay, so for reference, Tower 28, which this sounds like a formula similar to Tower 28, like sheer but juicy, oily but glossy, that's 16. Fenty is 21. I'm wearing a Fenty one today. This is just like their regular gloss in hot chocolate. And then Patrick Ta, which I do love, is 26, so same price. Lawless 26. Yeah, I mean, there are some $26 glosses. That just sounds so high. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough that's unique about this gloss to make me want to run out and buy it. So I think I'll skip over that one for now. Okay, I wanted to share this with you in case you didn't see, but e.l.f. actually brought back their Jelly Pop Dew Primer. I was kind of surprised to see this because it was a limited edition launch a few summers ago, and it was really popular. I've seen people asking e.l.f. for this ever since. Like, I see this on their Instagram, on their TikTok, everywhere. I thought they were pretty adamant about the fact that it's pretty much the same as their Power Grip formula. Like they said there weren't a lot of differences, even down to the ingredients. I personally, between the two, like I did think they were a little bit different. I actually liked the Jelly Pop Primer better, I remember talking about this on my channel, but they discontinued it. So once I used that up, I just went to the Power Grip Primer and it was good. But I do think the Jelly Pop Primer is slightly thinner and maybe a little bit stickier. So I think it's fun they brought it back. It is available on their website for $10 if you are one of the people who really wanted them to bring it back. And it does look like they're going to have it at Target as well. No, Ulta. So it's available on e.l.f.'s website right now, and then it's coming to Ulta on August 18th. But it's not going to be part of their permanent line. They're only bringing it back for a limited time only. Since that's the case, I probably won't run out and repurchase this. I hate when I fall in love with something that's been discontinued, especially if it's something I use up fully. And I do make my way through face primers. Not every single face primer, but I did use this one up fully because I used it so much. I feel like I'm happy with the Power Grip Primer, even though I like the Jelly Pop a little bit more. I don't want to repurchase it if they're going to just end up discontinuing it again because I won't be able to grab it. ColourPop's back with a new collection. I feel like it's been forever since we've seen a new ColourPop collection. Is that true? I don't I don't know if that's true. I feel like they've been doing a lot of, like, they've been revamping their blushes or their bronzers or their lip products, but they haven't been doing a ton of collections lately. This is kind of a mini launch. It's the Rock On collection. There's a new 9-pan palette with really pretty warm tones, and then two Super Shock shadows inspired by the warm desert elements. So it's available now on ColourPop's website, and then the palette is at Ulta too. It's a pretty palette. But I mean, I know we've seen something similar from ColourPop in the past, probably multiple times in the past. So there is a chance you might have something that looks like this. I don't know that I have a palette that looks incredibly similar to this, but if I mix shadows from a few ColourPop palettes, I could probably pull together something kind of similar. I am a big Super Shock shadow fan though, so these definitely look like shades I could get a lot of use out of, and I think they go nicely with the palette. Even if this isn't the most exciting color story for a collection, I do like the fact that they launched like a smaller, more curated collection instead of like those really big collections they were launching so often. Yeah, like now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like we haven't seen a ton of ColourPop launches, but maybe I've just been missing them, or maybe they really have slowed down. Okay, this kind of looks like a holiday launch. It's coming out on August 27th, which I guess doesn't mean anything. That could still be a holiday launch. I feel like a lot of brands do launch holiday products end of August, beginning of September. This one is from Too Faced. It's their maple syrup pancakes collection, which is just so Too Faced. This comes with an 18-pan eyeshadow palette, and it does have a maple syrup scent. And then there's also a maple syrup pancakes lip injection maximum plump, which kind of has like a red toned brown tint with a little bit of shimmer. The reason I feel like this is a holiday collection is because the packaging looks kind of cheap. Like it comes in a slim cardboard palette, almost like their holiday palettes usually do. The shades, they look similar to what we've seen before. I don't know. I wonder if they're going to do like a pumpkin spice palette. They have been doing those lately or over the past few years. These kind of look similar to those, but less exciting. There are a lot of metallics, a lot of shimmers. I don't know. I'm kind of underwhelmed by this, but I do feel like these Too Faced holiday collections in the cardboard packaging, like they must sell well because they do them every single year. But I don't plan on picking that up. I think that's everything I'll talk about in today's video. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. I would love to hear your thoughts on these products. If there's anything that caught your eye, if you plan on trying anything out, or if you want me to review anything on my channel, let me know. The one product that I'm definitely buying for sure would be the Natasha Denona palette. I'll probably also end up picking up the Haus Labs Concealer, so I'll be sure to review those in an upcoming video. Anyway, I'm going to go edit this video. I'll be back very soon with a new one, probably on Sunday. I've been uploading on random days during the month of August. Usually I stick to like a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday schedule. But I don't know, I just thought I would try something different and upload like 2 videos a week, and it's been going well, just kind of uploading when the inspiration strikes. During September, October, November, and December, I'm going to go back to 3 videos a week because that is like a very busy time for beauty content and reviews and things like that, and I'm sure I'll have a lot to talk about. But anyway, thanks for being here. I'll be back on probably Sunday with a new video. Bye.